Good morning, happy stampers. This is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, here to share with you another hashtag simple stamping card. Simply beautiful cards made simply. And I am featuring products in our new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog for 2021-2022. And once again, I'm taking you to the hand-pinned petals. I know I did one earlier. This one's going to be totally different. I'm not casing this time. And this is the set. You'll find it on page 105 of your catalog. There'll be some other things that I'm adding to that as we go along. But let's get started so I can show you what I've done. Now, I realize that when you make a simple card, you don't really need instructions. Most of us can look at them and figure out how they're made. But let me share with you how I made this particular card. It starts with a very vanilla base, and I don't very often use vanilla, but I should use it more often. And so just a regular vanilla thick base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's making a side fold card. Then this layer here is from the Pearlescent specialty paper that's also returning into this year's annual catalog, and it has a lovely shimmer to it. And it is cut 3 1/4 wide by 4 3/4 long. The sentiment tags are from Pale Papaya cardstock, and they are cut 3/4 by 3 1/4. And it is stamped with the thanks from the set with the Pale Papaya ink, tone on tone. So that's what I did here, and I used, get my stamp set up here so you can see it. Here it is. I used this particular design right here, and I stamped it once facing up and another facing down so that the stems kind of meet in the middle where they're covered up with the sentiment. And then these pieces are fillers to fill in, and I stamped off. So the outline I stamped with Pale Papaya, and then I went back with Mango Melody and stamped off and stamped the fillers. And then I did add a few little of the Artistry Blooms sequins, just to add just a little bit, and the sentiment is attached with dimensionals. So that's the basic simple version, okay? Then because of that being so simple, and I want to always just share something more with you, I have stepped it up. And for this, I again used very vanilla base. This is replacing the Pearlescent paper, and this is some of the Love You Always specialty paper from page 11 of the mini catalog that is coming to an end the end of June, but it's still with us. And you might want to, if you really enjoy these papers, you might want to get in on getting some of those before they're sold out, because it will be discontinued. But it has its own leafy background and its own little shimmer of its own. And so I put that down. Then I took the Pearlescent paper and I again stamped. This time I changed it to 2 different colors. I think you can see that, where the top is the stamped with the Pale Papaya and the centers are stamped with that stamped off. Then the bottom is done with Calypso Coral and the outline, and then the filler is with the same color stamped off. And this is Calypso Coral on the thanks here. And then this lovely little scalloped edge that I put on the sentiment is also in the kit. So there is step up number 1. And I thought I would show you just a little bit how I did that so you could see it. I just literally just took this, and this is Pale Papaya. Now, something you have to be careful of when you're stamping on this Pearlescent paper, it takes a while for the ink to dry, and if you aren't careful, it will smear. So you want to plan your creativity in such a way that you have time to let it dry. You can speed up the drying process by using your heat tool on a low setting and just blowing on it, and it will help dry it faster. Okay, but you want to be careful of that. And then I'm going to fill this one with the Mango Melody, and we'll just bring in one of these, and I need a piece of scratch paper so I can stamp off. So do that, stamp it off, and it's not difficult to line up at all. And then you fill it in. And so it's really, really easy to do. And I did fill in the, get this situated correctly. There we go. See, it's just super, super easy to do. And then I did fill in the leaves as well. And I just wanted all one tone. So I used the leaf filler and did that. So you can kind of see how I did it. And not difficult at all. And then, of course, there's a die to cut it out. And so that's why you see this one with them raised, because I cut them out with the die and then put dimensionals behind them. So that's what created Step Up card number 2. Now we're going to move on to one more Step Up number 3. And I'm going to build that for you as we go along. So again, it's the base, Very Vanilla, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Then I cut another piece of Very Vanilla, and I cut it, well, I don't think I wrote that down. I cut it the same size, 3.5 by 4 by 5. 3.5 by 5 is what I cut this piece, and I embossed it with that wonderful embossing folder, Ornate Floral. It just makes it the most gorgeous flowery background. I just love it. And I am going to attach that to the front of the card with just a slight angle like this. And I'm just going to use regular Stampin' Seal to do that. And I think I'll have it go like that. Okay. Then I took a piece of that lovely Love You Always specialty paper that has that lovely shimmer in it. And this one is cut 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then I took the Pale Papaya and a blending brush, and I just added some color right up the center like this. So it's got this highlighted section, and that Pale Papaya is quite pale, but I hope you can see it on there. I mean, it's visible to me. You know, if I were picking up the card and looking at it, you would see it, but I don't know if the video is picking it up quite as well. But anyway, I added that shading like that. Then I made 2 of the flowers again with the Pale Papaya and the Calypso Coral, and this time I used markers, and because I wanted the leaves to be green and I didn't want them to have a colored outline, so I used markers to color the outline stamp, just taking this stamp and kind of using the side of my brush marker and coloring the parts, and stamped them and then filled them just like I showed you before. And we're going to attach these. This is going to go onto the card front flat as well. So let's do that next. That tape is so sticky. You get it stuck to you and you're stuck. Okay. And we're going to kind of do the angle a little, you know, in the opposite direction. So just parts of that background stick out. So there's that. Okay. Now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Find my dimensionals. There they are. And here's a piece of little Chad that needs to come out of there. And I supported these quite well because they are a little bit lighter weight paper. And so I did put quite a few dimensionals on the backs of these. I wanted them to be very well supported. And they do fit on those leaves. And then I took another one and cut it in half to put on this leaf down here. And that kind of helps support that leaf and the stem. And so then we can attach these. And I think I'll put the darker one up this time. And remember, I want the stems to kind of overlap in the center, so that's how I'm positioning that. And then we'll position this one going down this way, like this. Yeah, that'll work. And then for the sentiment, I cut another piece. I started out with it at a full 1 inch by 3 1/4. Then I did the border and stamped the stamp. And when I stamped the word, I kind of used the dotted line as like you would on a line on paper, and how some of the letters go below. I did that on purpose. And then I cut it down to just 3/4 of an inch wide. And then this ribbon is the new In Color Open Weave ribbon that's in the catalog. And this is the Pale Papaya ribbon. And I overlapped it several times. It's got 2 layers, and it's just rounded on the end, just wrapped around on itself. So I just put adhesive down the back side of the tape and then just wrapped it around. And I'm going to attach this with dimensionals as well. And I'm going to put that there just like that. And then this needs some of those Artistry Blooms sequins as well. And I just love these sequins, and they can be, they adapt to so many different colors. I can't say I know exactly. This is probably the Calypso Coral, or I don't know, maybe this is Calypso Coral. Anyway, there's 4 colors: Calypso Coral, Costa Cabana, Mango Melody, and Rich Razzleberry. So I'm assuming that this is the Calypso Coral and the Mango Melody. It's one of those. And there's 2 sizes, smaller and larger. And we're just going to put a few of these on here because a little bit of bling is always good when you're stepping up a card. And they don't add a lot of bulk or weight, so they're really nice. I love these. I'm so glad they're coming back into this catalog, and that we will be able to enjoy them for another year. And I've just about used up the supply I have. And there's some sparkle, and there's the 3rd step-up card for today's simple stamping video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you'll give these cards a try. I hope that you will share with me. I'd love to see your results and how you adapted them for your artistic bent. And it's fun to see what other people make. So I'm glad you were able to join us. I hope you had a good day, and I thank you very much.